Good morning. How are we set up? All good. Fabulous. There she is. Also, good morning to anyone that's listening on the podcast. Can't believe I get to say that. So exciting. Right. Send a request. She's done it herself. Come on in, Sarah. So organised. Is it gonna work? There she is! Look at that hair!
I made it work!
You did make it work! Look at that hair! When did you get this done?
Yesterday. I'm still not quite in love with it yet. It's just a bit different, but you know, whatever.
I love it.
It's a bit fluffy. It takes a bit of doing, which is something I'm not used to, but you know, rock chick, what can I say?
Absolutely, the volume.
I know. That's what I needed. It was just so, I know, it was just so flat and frumpy, and I was just scraping it back in the gym, so I thought, push myself out of my comfort zone.
I love it.
As always.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm all good. I've got my cup of coffee. I've managed to spill it down myself, which was inevitable, but there we are. No, I'm all good. So I haven't really been in the gym very much, so I'm quite ashamed. But it's been busy trying to catch up after COVID and everything. So
yeah,
and not been in as much as I would have.
Yeah, considering we did the photo shoot last Tuesday and you sent everything over that night.
Yeah, I'm trying desperately to keep on top of things, to be honest, at the moment. But no, it's all good. I'm doing good, considering I'm on the final countdown to my 50th birthday. And I have to tell you, I did my first proper no jumping chin up this morning.
Did you film it?
No. And then I went and I got my camera and my stand, and I set it up in the garden and I think it was so full of adrenaline. It was first thing in the morning. The next one I filmed was absolutely rubbish. So I will try again. But I actually got up. I could not believe it. I didn't expect to. I just thought, I'll go and give it a go. But yeah.
Wow.
I know. I'm so shocked.
The last time this happened, I was on holiday last August, and I got a message on WhatsApp with a video saying, I really don't want to bother you. I know you're on holiday, and just sent the video of you doing your push-ups, didn't you?
Push-ups, yeah, I know, it's mad. Do you know, in a couple of weeks' time, it's a year since I started with you.
Incredible.
What a year, to be honest with you, what a year. How much that's changed, and the change in me and my strength. In fact, I wouldn't ever have dreamt I would have done a push-up, never mind a chin-up, for God's sake. I mean, what on earth's happened to me? You've ruined me, woman.
A whole year of consistency. That's why I think it's such a milestone as well, because especially if you've tried like exercise or diet or all that kind of stuff before, just trying to get healthier, it can be short-term and all this kind of thing. Yeah. So the consistency to be lifting for a whole year, to be eating well for a whole year, working on yourself, achieving these things in the gym is such a huge milestone.
I think that's the thing. I think that's why I'm not one for blowing my own trumpet, but I think that's why I've been successful in this, because I never really saw it as a short-term thing. It's the whole thing from me losing the weight to doing this fitness thing with you. I never saw it as I'm going to do this for 12 weeks and then I'll be fine then and I'll look good. And for me, it's a complete change in lifestyle. I can't actually imagine not going to the gym. I just can't. It doesn't actually fit in with my life. It's part of me now, to be honest with you. And it's good for my mental health. It's great for the way I look, and the fact that, you know, I am older now and things are starting to ache, and I should be not as flexible as I used to be in my 20s, but it's actually the opposite way around. I'm fitter than I've ever been in my life, and I can't ever imagine not having that as part of my life now. It's brilliant. It's been so good for me.
And that was the goal back at the start, wasn't it? It was, I want to be the fittest and in the best shape of my life by 50.
Yeah, and I've just done a chin up.
Oh, I wish you'd filmed it.
I know, I'm so gutted. Honestly, I am telling the truth. You have to believe me.
You'll get the next one. You'll film the
Well, I
next
will.
one.
I'm just going to have my phone permanently mounted on the stand in my garden where I've put my chin-up bar. I'm looking at it now. It's laughing at me. So yeah, I will record every single one just in case. Because I know you and Mo need to see. You need to see, because I know you've been geeing me on over the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely. So obviously for everybody else, me, Mo and Sarah are all on this mission to get that full pull-up. We've been really hammering the negatives. Mo's been trying some shrugs. Sarah's got the pull-up bar in the garden, and we're all just within this battle to get that first pull-up.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you got it.
I'm so super competitive. I have to be the first one to do it.
I'm like,
I will.
That guy in the gym that was like, have you got it yet? Have you got it yet? You can tell him yes.
I know. That's what I love about the gym. I just, you talk a lot about gym anxiety, don't you? And I remember that back in the day when I first started, I was just worried that people were going to be looking at me and judging me. But it is a very male-focused environment. But I've found the majority, apart from one, the majority of men in the gym are so supportive, and they really like to sort of push you on, and in a nicest way, not in a mansplaining way, like to give you hints and tips as well, because I just think they appreciate that you're actually there and you're knuckling down and you're doing stuff. So yeah, there's been some great people in the gym that have helped me along the way, bar one, but we don't talk about him because he drives me insane.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Oh, no, we really don't talk about Bruno.
Literally, that's what happened. I was at the top of the pull-up bar, about to do some negatives, and a guy looked up from the mats, and he was like, "Oh, it's high up there, isn't it?" And I was like, "Hello." Just like, yeah, it's good.
Oh, I had an older guy, because when I go to the gym, I usually go sort of first thing in the morning, like 9 o'clock, and you do tend to get quite a lot of older people in there then. So I know I'm old, but I'm talking people in their sort of 60s and 70s. And there was one guy, and I was doing my usual workout. I think I was doing upper body as per usual. And he came over to me when I was sat on one of the machines towards the end of my workout. And he said, "Are you training to be a bodybuilder, my love?" It's like, no, but thanks. It's lovely, isn't it?
You know what that is? He's taken a look at your arms and shoulders and gone, fair play, fair play.
Yeah. Or he was terrified, one of the two.
One of the two.
I don't mind either.
We love that, because when we first started, one of Sarah's least favourite moves was the shoulder press. Just seated on the bench, shoulder press, looking in the mirror. And you just struggled, didn't you? You didn't like it.
I hated it. Honestly, I didn't mind the lunges and all of those horrible things used to get me to do. But shoulder presses, I don't know, I just had this thing in my head that they were the worst thing. Because in my mind, I didn't have any upper body strength. In my mind, I didn't have any. It's my favourite now. I love them. I hate lunges. Shoulder presses. Love them.
Swapped it now.
Yeah. I think it's because I can physically, what I love is when you're doing a workout and you're doing upper body, and let's say you've got a mirror in front of you as you do in so many places, you can actually see it popping. And I get frustrated when I'm doing back and legs and things like that, because you can't really see it, but you can actually see it whilst doing it. How motivating is that, to be able to see those biceps and just completely popping out of your arms? I love it. There is danger I'm gonna turn into some kind of top heavy muscle queen, I don't know. There we are.
It's funny as well, because that's something that most of the girls say. People say it on consultations, when we're doing kickstart calls, is I've got no upper body strength, but my legs are quite strong. Yeah. And I'm like, all the girls don't have the upper body strength at the start. That's totally normal, totally natural, but we can increase it.
And there was a part of me when I first had my consultation with you, part of me was thinking, oh, she's on a bit of a sales tactic here. I think she's probably making this up. There's no way I'm going to be able to get upper body strength. There's no way I'm going to be able to build a bum or have a waist, because I've never had one, and I'm nearly 50. And if I haven't got one by now, it's just not going to happen. And honest to God, I thought she might be full of, and but no, you really weren't you, to be honest? You know what you're talking about. And I did all of those things.
We had a tour. I showed Sarah around the gym just after the consultation, and that's where she was like, well, I wouldn't mind a bum. And I was like, we can get you one of them. She was like, yeah.
Yeah, right, whatever. I'm still not quite there, but it's better than it was.
It's incredible.
Genetics. think it's just genetics.
Yeah,
But,
and
yeah.
like that's the thing. All of your training, you know, you've got a lot of glute moves, hip thrusts, back squats,
Yeah.
deadlifts, RDLs, all that jazz. Doesn't work miracles. It doesn't
Yeah.
work miracles, but you can grow those muscles and give yourself a completely different shape. And I
Yeah.
think that's what you noticed quite early on was, oh, I'm a different shape now.
Yeah. It just completely realigned the proportions of my body, which I really did not think was possible. I really didn't think it was possible. You know, I've always considered myself, I always used to put myself down and say I had a body like a sausage, because basically there was no discernible waist. And you're not old enough to remember Willow the Wisp. There was a cartoon called Willow the Wisp, but there was this character called the Moog, which was basically this big fat pink sausage dog. And I always used to think that that's what my body looked like, because it just would go up and down. You know, it wasn't, you know, it just, the proportions were all wrong. And now I've got a waist, an actual discernible waist. And that is just from doing, it's just from lifting. And it's not actually that hard. I don't find it hard. It's not like, I hate cardio. I don't like, you know, getting sweaty and being out of breath. I don't find with I can go to the gym and lift weights and know I'm making results, but walk away feeling like just empowered. Does that make sense? Rather than feeling like out of breath and sweaty and feel like I need to lie down in a darkened room for an hour and a half. And it's just brilliant. It's just so
It
good.
is. It
Yeah,
is.
isn't
And
it?
it's like, don't mistake that for the fact that Sarah pushes the intensity. If I can say one thing, she pushes that intensity. If you tell her to do 6 reps, she's not going to, she'll push past it, she'll hit 7, but she doesn't stop on odd numbers. So she has to hit 8. Like,
Yeah.
whatever you set her, she will go above and beyond. She's like, nope, got more, got more.
Yeah.
And pushing that intensity has really led to the strength. The fact that in your first year of lifting, you got the push-ups in a couple of months, full push-ups, and a chin-up now in a year. Incredible.
So I'm just a stubborn mule. I'm just stubborn. As I knew I wasn't going to go into this and not do the best I possibly can. And I like to research and learn about this, because I actually find it really fascinating. The fact that, you know, it makes you think about the way your body's moving, and this wonderful tool that you have in your body, which I just completely took for granted for years and years and years. And now I realise it can do things that I never really thought it could. So now I know that if I, from my research, I know from what you've told me, that if I push myself, I'm only going to get stronger. And that's the only way to see results, isn't it? You know, to really push yourself to the point where the point of failure. That's what I tried to do. I pushed myself to the point of failure. And one, it makes me feel brilliant. And then I know next time I'm going to push it a little bit further and a little bit further. And that is just so empowering for me personally. It just works. It ticks all my boxes.
Absolutely. That's the word, empowering. And then with that, it just brings this kind of confidence, self-confidence, self-belief that you're achieving these things that you never thought you could. You're appreciating your body rather than maybe picking it apart or judging it, criticizing. You're appreciating what it can do, achieving these things that you didn't think you could do, and just changes the game for you confidence-wise.
It really does. And I think as an older person, I hate saying that so much, but as you know, I am 50 in a couple of weeks. Hold my hands up. I'm not scared of it. It's all going to be good. But I signed up to a new gym after Christmas. I needed a bit of a, as you know, a bit of a kick up the backside, and I thought I'll start a new gym. And I went in, and I've told you this story already, I think, but I went in and the woman was showing me around the gym, you know, what are you interested in? Like, not condescending, but just generally, you know, having a chat. What sort of thing are you interested in? Is it the classes and, you know, yoga and the cardio machines? And I walked straight into the gym and go, right, how many squat racks have you got? Because that's where I want to be. And this is what I like to do. And she looked at me with a look of, it was a mixture of total respect and surprise, that she, just by looking at me as an individual coming into the gym, she'd made assumptions as to the kind of exercises that I would probably do based on stereotypes. And that's fine. But to be able to go in there and say that, actually, no, this is what I like to do, and for her to look at me like, fair play, was brilliant. And it's, to me, that's fabulous. I love that. I love that.
Definitely. And we've talked as well about being in like a weights room where there are a lot of men, and when you get to a certain point, you actually feel like, super proud that you're in this area that you used to find totally intimidating. You never would have entered it. You would have just been way too anxious to go near it. And suddenly you're surrounded by men, you're doing your thing, you're hitting a PB, and you're just like, this is incredible. How have I got here?
Yeah, no, it is. It's great. I don't even bat an eyelid about being in a room full of men now, to be honest. It doesn't even cross my mind. I feel like I belong there just as much as they do, because I think it's clear from the work I've put in that I mostly know what I'm doing and I can hold my own. And so I don't feel intimidated or out of place at all. I have no gym anxiety. Sometimes when you see a really hot woman and you think, oh, okay, yeah, fair enough, I'm never going to have a backside like that. But you know, that passes. You know, you've got to be realistic. You've got to think of genetics. I've got to think of my age. You know, there are things that I can do, and I can prove that I've done that. But there are things I'm never going to get. I'm never going to get a washboard flat stomach with abs, visible abs. It's just never going to happen. But you know, I'll take a waist, and that's fine.
Absolutely. So how do you think you got to that point of being so confident in that room that people fear so much? Like, where do the beginners and the anxious girls, where do they start? What are those first few steps to build up the confidence?
I think as soon as you realise that when people are in the gym, they're there to do something for themselves and that they're actually not interested in you and they're not looking at you. I think as soon as you realise that, that's a really good first step, because generally people are in there, they're going to the gym, they're going to do the workout, they've got their headphones in, they're not interested, they're not looking, they don't give a monkeys about what other people are doing. And as soon as you get that through your head and realise you're doing the same, then it takes away all of that anxiety. Because they're just not. No one's looking, no one's judging at all. And then if you get that out of your head and then you just keep working at it and getting better at your exercises and, you know, feeling your way around the equipment and, you know, getting to know where everything is, then you're one of them anyway. Does that make sense? You've just got to get over that first hurdle and realise that nobody really gives a monkeys.
Yeah, you're one of them.
Yeah, if you went to the gym and you were wearing a polka dot pink hat and a pair of green leggings, no one's really going to notice. They're cracking on with what they need to do to get in and out and carry on with their day. So and as you do it and you get more confident, and this is from my experience, as you get more confident, you don't really give a monkeys whether they are looking anyway. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm here for me. And, you know, I go to the gym for me. I don't go to the gym for anybody else. So I don't really care. And I've never been like that. I've always worried about what people thought about me. And I don't anymore. Not at all.
Yeah. I remember on that tour as well, me telling you there are a lot of women that lift in this gym. And I think finding a gym like that you feel comfortable in is so important, because I was able to be like, look, you will go into that weights area and there will be women there. Yeah. There's a lot of women in the classes. And that kind of helps settle it. That's
totally true. I think, I mean, I haven't been in a gym for 25 years, I think, since, you know, before I came last May with you. And my choice of gym was a really good choice of gym. And it was just by chance, because that's where you were based at the time. But there was so many different people, different, you know, ages, different abilities, different sizes. I kind of half expected to go in there and be full of like 20-year-old boys that are all like, you know, pumped on steroids and stuff, but it wasn't at all like that. You know, there was women and men that were older than me, bigger than me, young, everybody, you know, a real cross section of society, and it was small and it was intimate, so it was a really good choice for me. Now I'm in a slightly bigger gym. It works because I've got that level of confidence. But I would say to anybody who wants to start doing this and start going to a gym, go and tour a few, because they're all different. The one you go to at the moment is totally different as well, isn't it? They've all got a completely different vibe, and you'll find the one that you feel, you'll get gut feeling to the one that you think makes you feel more comfortable.
Absolutely. And I know my gym at the moment wouldn't suit my clients as beginners. They just, it's not that kind of environment.
It is a little bit much, isn't it? It's nice.
It's open. I think the more open the gym that you can see from end to end and things, it can be difficult with the idea that people are watching. Yeah. Whereas, you know, a more commercial, but also like a franchise, a small franchise in your local area, local leisure centre. A lot of the girls go to their local leisure centre, these kind of gyms can be more comfortable, but absolutely go and try them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, weights are weights.
Yeah.
You know, you might get the odd extra fancy machine, but you know, as far as dumbbells and plates go, they're all pretty much the same, aren't they? So
yeah,
and it's all about attitude and environment.
Yeah. On that point, another thing that you did from the start was things at home. So particularly, you never used to do a full home workout, which a lot of the girls do, which is a really great way to build up that confidence before you step into the gym. But for you, it was practicing movements, wasn't it?
Yeah, I struggle with home workouts. I've got some kit here, although I need to get heavier weights now because I've kind of outgrown my 7.5, so I need heavier ones. But I struggle at home just from a motivation point of view. If I go to the gym, I know I'm there for a defined point of time, period of time. So I'm in and I do it. At home, I get distracted by work because I work for myself as well. I'm a single mum, so I get distracted. So I don't do it as much as I should, but I do tend to practice different moves as much as I possibly can. You know, I'll see an exercise on, I don't know, TikTok or Instagram or something, and I think, right, I'll try that, and usually fail miserably. I used to do abs at home more than anything, but I don't tend to do that anymore. I've given up on the abs.
Interesting, that.
Yeah, you were right. And there's me thinking, because my tummy was always my tummy is where I store my wobble. And I always thought, okay, I've got to do crunches, I've got to do abs. And I used to do classes in the old gym, and I used to do stuff at home. But actually, it's made absolutely no difference. Deadlifts have made a difference. You know, back squats have made a difference. All of the other stuff, I realise now there's so much core engagement in all of those compound exercises that actually doing crunches is a complete waste of time. So I don't really do them anymore, and I don't miss them in the slightest. I can't stand them. But yeah, no, I realised that was making the difference. So just more of those compound exercises to work everything in a short space of time. I mean, who doesn't want that?
Yeah, and those are the moves that can just make you feel so empowered, aren't they? Like deadlifting a bar off the floor and adding more and more weight to that. It just feels good.
Yeah, no, I know. That's funny. I was thinking about you the other day when we were doing your photos in the gym the other week, and you'd set up for a hip thrust. I think it was like over 100, isn't it, or something? But we'd taken the majority of the plates off, and we were left with 60. And I didn't even think about it. I went, oh, I'll get that back up, and I deadlifted it up there. And you went, oh yeah, just a casual 60 kg deadlift there. And I was like, oh yeah, I was just lifting it. Do you know what? I didn't even think. I'd never have been able to lift. That's like my body weight. I'd never have been able to lift that before. And I just hoiked it up and chucked it down. So funny.
No warm up, no anything. She was taking photos and just decided, oh, I need to help you out, get those weights off the ground. Just goes and picks the bar up 60 kg, puts it back.
Yeah, it's because I'm strong.
Incredible. And yeah, you talked about the whole like washboard abs situation. At the start. The tummy was a target, and I remember you saying that. And, you know, it doesn't really help to just go straight in and go, oh, well, you're not going to have a flat stomach. You know, it's pointless even worrying about it, blah, 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 because it's easier to learn that as you go along. So obviously you wanted to do these ab classes and extra ab stuff, tried it, and then was like, actually, this isn't the form of training I love so much. I prefer my compounds. I prefer my big lifts, and kind of figured that out for yourself.
I think as well, the more you learn, I think there's power in knowledge. It's one of my biggest things. And as soon as I realised you can't target fat loss from certain areas, all you're doing, if I'm doing upper body, all I'm doing is filling out the muscles, which is therefore reducing the fat, so I'm getting a shape. And that's all I'm doing. And as soon as I realised I can't target tummy fat, all I can do is make sure I'm eating properly. I'm doing regular progressive overloads on my exercises on a regular basis at the gym. That's the best I'm going to do, and it's going to be the last thing that goes. So as soon as I got that in my head and I saw changes in other areas, then I was kind of all right about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you know, absolutely. It's
coming
to terms with it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The start of the journey was weight loss. That was all of. I mean, how much did you lose?
4 stone, nearly. Yeah.
Incredible.
I lost 3 stone in about 7 months, and then it's probably no problem, but probably more for 3.5. But I consider it that I've kind of lost more than that, because I realise now that muscle take the same weight of size of muscle, volume of muscle to fat is smaller. So I've actually probably lost more body fat in weight. So if I hadn't have, do you know what I mean? I'm smaller and the same weight. So I'm not losing weight now, but I'm reducing in size. So I've stagnated at around 10 stone now, but I'm still going down in size because I've got more muscle. So I'm obviously getting rid of body fat. So you realise after a while, that was a big challenge for me, actually, going through the weight loss and literally just calorie deficit, calorie counting before I started exercising. I was doing lots of walking. I've always loved walking. Then to go into the gym and be with you and realise actually it's about measurements rather than the scale, because I was obsessive about the scale. I'd weigh twice a day. I'd weigh at night, I'd weigh in the morning. So to start exercising and realising I'm actually putting on weight psychologically was an absolute mess with my mind. Totally messed with my mind. And we had that conversation a number of times, didn't we? Where I was like, I can't quite get my head around that I'm heavier. But you just got to go with the way clothes are fitting you, the measurements of your waist, for me particularly, was a big one. But yeah, not be so wrapped up in the scales. And that was really hard for me.
Yeah.
Really hard.
I think the longer that you are using the scales as a metric, maybe your only metric, and losing body fat and that kind of thing, then you suddenly switch over to trying a new method. Suddenly you're trying to get strong, you're trying to lift heavier in the gym, and it's not the forefront anymore. Then suddenly it just throws you so much if that scale either stays the same or goes up. Or doesn't even decrease as fast as it was before. And I think that's a change that most of the girls that lift with me experience and struggle with. It's such a mind bend. It's really difficult.
In theory, it doesn't make any sense, does it? It shouldn't work like that. And if like me, because I think a lot of the girls in the group, in the gang, they're kind of hitting their nutrition and their exercise at the same time. So they're starting that journey at the same time. The struggle I had is I had already gone through a lot of that weight loss journey before I started exercising. So I really struggled with that. I'm fine with my protein now. I did completely change my way of eating. But I don't feel like I'm on a diet anymore. I was thinking about this yesterday. I don't feel like I'm on a diet. I'm not on a diet. This is what I eat, and this is how I eat now. Which is really lovely. And if I want to have, smash a packet of Jaffa cakes, I'll smash a packet of Jaffa cakes.
No,
it's too short.
Yeah, literally. If you think about it in that sense, when you actually started losing weight then, that's probably been at least 1.5 years, if not longer. So this is a perfect example of long-term change. Yeah,
there's no way I'm going back. Somebody asked me that the other day. They said, do you think you'll ever go back? And I'm like, no. It was just, to me, it was a ridiculous question to ask. Why would I do that? I shared a post. I found a post came up on my memories on Facebook, and it was about 5 years ago. Because I'm a photographer and I photograph mainly children, I tend to spend a lot of my time rolling around on the floor. It's actually quite an active job. And I posted something on my page literally 5 years ago, bearing in mind that would have made me 44, about how I was struggling with muscle aches and flexibility after I'd done a photo shoot. Did anybody do any Pilates or yoga or anything like that? What could I do to stop this? And I read it and I was like, that doesn't even cross my mind anymore. I don't have any problems with flexibility or muscle aches or anything like that. So why would I go back to the way I was? It makes absolutely no sense.
It's really interesting. Like, that's such a specific change that you never would have considered if you hadn't seen that post, that reminder of how much you've changed. And what a change. Like, that is literally impacting your day-to-day life.
It all impacts my day-to-day life. Even when I'm walking the dog, that you forget because you get so used to it. Like in the park I go to, there's steps to go out. And I used to kind of get a bit out of breath when I used to get to the top of the steps, or I used to feel my quads would be, burning a bit by the time I got to the top of the steps. That doesn't happen anymore. I could go on, I could walk for miles. I climbed a mountain the other week in Yorkshire. Didn't even get out of breath. I'm not doing a lot of cardio, but I'm much, much stronger. So yeah, it does. It impacts your day-to-day life all the time.
And talking of which, what are some of the things you've done? So you did that little trip with the hiking, you've been paddleboarding. Like,
yeah, my paddleboard, I'm loving. Oh, paddleboarding's great. Talk about core, oh my days. So yeah, I've got myself a paddleboard, so I've been out on that a couple of times now. Didn't fall in on my second time, which was good. But that is amazing for core, and also the strength in my legs helps as well, because you're constantly you've got to claw, you know, like when you do a deadlift and you're clawing into the ground with your feet. Well, you've got to kind of do the same on a paddleboard, so that's great because you've got to constantly readdress your balance so you don't fall in. So that is brilliant for legs and core. I've done I did a 3 or 4 day hiking trip to the Yorkshire Dales, which was amazing. I think, did I say I did like 80,000 steps or something over that weekend? It was a lot over that weekend. What else have I done? I'm regularly climbing up mountains. I'm going rock climbing in a couple of weeks. What else have I been doing? Oh, and I've booked my trip to Petra, to Jordan for next year, to do a hiking adventure in Jordan. What else have I done?
Incredible. That's so good.
I'm always doing stuff now. I'm so more active now, and I love the challenge of pushing myself out of my comfort zone now. It's really, really good. It's really good for me, good for my mental health. That's a massive part of this whole journey as well. Really, really is.
Yeah, talk about like changes in lifestyle in terms of confidence and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. I suppose that can be like an example of pushing yourself in the gym. Okay, I can actually do this. I can beat the anxiety. Oh, I can do this. I can get really strong. Suddenly, it's like, what else can I do?
Absolutely. It makes you realise you can do hard things. And I love that. I love the fact that I'm, for the first time in my entire life, I'm pushing myself to do things which would have usually terrified me. Because if I can go to the gym and lift, you know, deadlift more than my body weight, for example, at the moment, then what else, like you said, what else can I do? You know, why should I be scared of going and, you know, booking myself on a walking trip when I'm the only person that doesn't know anybody and turning up on my own, you know, and having the best time and meeting the best people? What's the worst that's going to happen? You know, I just, you know, I've got to the point, I just don't care anymore. I just go and do whatever I want. It's brilliant.
It really is. Like, so inspiring to me as well, because I love travel. Quick one, we've had a question. So can you give an idea of your like weekly schedule / your level of commitment? It is different now to when she started because she's more advanced. So talk us through both your schedule before when we started and kind of what it's like now.
Oh crikey, I'm trying to remember. So I think when we started, I used to do 1 session with you a week, didn't I? And then I did 2 on my own. Was that right? And that was pretty hit and miss. But now at the moment, I'm going. I aim for 3 sessions in the gym and 1 session at home. Doesn't always happen, but if I can get 3 in, I'm happy. So what I tend to do is I'll split it. So I'll do upper body one day, lower body the next day, and then I'll do another lower body in the gym, and then I'll do upper body at home. That's my perfect split, or that's where I've been working it. As I'm moving into a busier time now with my work, I don't think I'm going to be able to do 4 days. So I think I'm going to do upper, lower, and then full body is what I'm going to do. So yeah, it's commitment wise, I think 3 days a week is fine. And as long as you're hitting all your muscle groups twice, doesn't really matter, does it? So yeah, three sessions a week.
Absolutely.
Don't do any more than that.
Yeah, it's such a like good starting point, good target. And there is a big thing where something is always better than nothing. If you can commit to 1 lifting session per week, you will see results. If you can lift twice, again, you're going to get more results. That's true. 3 times, amazing. You know, if you can be consistent with any of those things, you are going to get results.
I've been once in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm not actually that bothered about it. I know, you know, you think that when you stop, you're going to lose it, but you don't lose it because you're still using those muscles in your day-to-day activities anyway. You know, I'm still walking the dog every day. I went once. When did you do the photos? Last Tuesday.
Yeah. I
went Tuesday. I haven't been since. So, you know, but I know that I can just pick it back up again. So I don't get anxious about it. I used to get very anxious about it, but I don't anymore because I know it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I've had that conversation with girls this week in the check-ins, that life will get in the way. Doesn't matter, like, if it's a good timing for you, life will get in the way, and it's being okay with that and not feeling guilty, because you've still made progress. This striving for perfection, you know, every week I'm going to go 4 times a week and I'm never going to fail. The second you hit 3 sessions a week, it makes you feel bad. You shouldn't be feeling bad. You should still be
That's
like,
the opposite
awesome,
of what,
3 sessions.
The opposite of what this is about, isn't it? You're doing this to feel good about yourself, not to punish yourself. You know, you should do what you can do and fits in well with your lifestyle, because all of our lifestyles different. You know, you've got somebody like Mo who's got kids at home and a crazy dog and everything like that and works shifts. I work for myself. I'm a single mum, but my child is 15. So, you know, it's a different, I can leave him and go to the gym. Everybody's got a completely different life. And as long as you can not punish yourself, going to the gym shouldn't be a punishment. It should be a reward. Does that make sense? And that has to fit into your lifestyle, rather than making you feel like you're rushing everything else and the rest of your life is a mess because you're putting effort in the wrong places. You've got to get that balance right to enjoy it. You know, enjoy this.
I was saying to one of the girls that during my final year of uni was when I really got into the lifting. I did it twice a week. I didn't want to commit to more than that. I was going out on the weekends and stuff, obviously studying full-time all week. And that's what I could manage consistently. Amazing. Like, it worked. It was like really enjoyable, built loads of strength, built confidence, etc. And it's not comparing your life to people like me. For example, I can go to the gym whatever time I want to today. Like, that's not your life. So why would you look online and go, oh, these girls, they're lifting 5 times a week. They're getting all these results. I can't commit to 5 times a week. What am I going to do?
It also depends on what your ultimate goal is. I mean, there's 2 things. I am good in the morning. I'm rubbish in the evening. Get me in the afternoon. I can't go to the gym in the afternoon. I can't go to the gym in the evening because I just don't have any energy. I'm a morning person, so I like to get mine out of the way. I also won't go to the gym on a Saturday or Sunday because I find that the clientele is slightly different. I don't enjoy the gym on the weekend. I hate it. I'd much rather go 9 o'clock in the morning with the old people, job done. So that's one side of it. The second side of it is completely gone out of my mind. Got it. But what I was thinking is it's what you want to achieve. You know, if it's just getting to a point and then maintaining it, you don't have to go 5 days a week to do that. If you want to end up, you know, professional weightlifting or bodybuilding or something like that, yeah, fine. But if it's just a case of you get to a point and think, I'm happy with the way I look now, I just want to maintain it, then that's fine. Everybody's different. You know, not everybody wants to chest press 55 or whatever it is she can do now. It makes me feel sick. Not everybody wants to do that. Some people might be happy doing 30. Do you know what I mean? It's everybody's got different goals.
Absolutely. Like, having your training fit to that goal, your consistency level, as long as your expectations are in the right place and you know what you're doing, your actions are meeting the expectations, then that's great. It's only when your expectations are way too high, your actions aren't meeting them, and then there's like a gap in the middle. So yeah, totally depends on your goal. Like, you're not
and
gonna...
just don't punish yourself. Just don't punish yourself.
Absolutely.
But, you know, enjoy it. You shouldn't do, you know, I always think the best exercise that you can do is the one that you enjoy. It might not be weightlifting. It might be badminton. It might be bowling. You know, it doesn't matter. Find the exercise that you enjoy and stick with it. It just so happens that this is my thing. You know, I found my happy place and love it. So I think you should enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick to it, and you have to stick at it.
Totally.
Otherwise you're not going to see results.
It just so happens that the lifting gang, shout out to them, Mo and Alex, I can see you. It just so happens that we're all united on that front. None of us enjoy cardio. None of us really enjoyed HIIT and burpees. I can't even say the word burpees.
I've got a little bit of stick in my throat.
Yeah. And it just so happens that we united on that front of, this is fun. Lifting up lumps of metal is quite cool.
It was so funny, but going back to that initial consultation with you in the gym, I remember walking into the gym, in the gym we were in at that time, you walk in, the first thing you see is all of the cardio machines, so the treadmills, the cross trainers, all of those machines. And I walk in and I'm automatically assuming that you're going to show me all of these machines. And you went, that's the cardio area, follow me. And literally took me down. He's like, right, this is what we're going to be doing. I was like, oh, Christ, you know, we're not going to be doing any of that. She said, oh yeah, it might be good for, like, you know, training for your hikes and things like that, but no, we ignore that. And I was so surprised, but I'm not surprised anymore, to be honest.
I remember
I know what you're like.
You got me then on a separate induction. You came in for an induction for me to show you how to use the cardio machines, and I think that was the only time you ever used them.
I think that's the only time you've ever used them as well.
Yeah. Literally. Whoops.
Oh, I know that now. No, it was. I mean, I occasionally warm up on the treadmill. I'll do like 10 minutes on a treadmill, particularly if I'm doing a leg day, but that's the limit of my cardio. I just walk the dog.
Exactly. It's outdoor cardio with the dog. That's you don't have to do cardio machines and all that kind of thing. Increase your steps. Incredible. Maybe do like what I would like to do. I love like dance and like choreographed things. That's why I enjoyed spin or leading spin. I wouldn't want to do someone else's spin, but I enjoyed leading it because it was my music and I choreographed the routine. So like, I think my type of cardio is that I used to love step aerobics and or like dance classes. That
you should try a salsa
like
class I went to. You should try that. That
looked cool. I would love that kind of thing.
Yeah. But no, my thing is outdoor walking with the dog. Like, I'll go out for an hour every day. And if I'm in a particularly bad mood, and everybody gets in bad moods and has low days, I'll go to the beach or I'll go out with the dog. But I'm doing that every single day. So, you know, it's all about consistency. And mine is outdoors. I love outdoors and, you know, climbing and walking and all of that stuff. So, yeah.
If you're going to do cardio, find the cardio you enjoy.
Yes.
Make sure it's enjoyable.
Just enjoy life, you know.
Absolutely. Enjoy food as well.
Oh God, yeah. Fantastic. Oh yeah, no. I've got to the point now where I don't really count calories anymore, which is really nice. I'm just really mindful of everything, and we've been having some lovely food recently. Really, really nice stuff. So I just don't cook with butter and full fat milk or all these things that I never used to think about before. But you know, we're still eating, and my 14, 15-year-old will eat it and loves it. So it's all good. It's just a change of way of living.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you learn about food in that kind of way, you learn what's in it, you learn how much your body needs, then you can move on and be more mindful about it.
Well, last Saturday we had a takeaway Pizza Hut, and it was lovely. Nice. And we had takeaway pizza, Hawaiian pizza, and we had chicken strips and potato wedges, and I didn't care because I knew it was going to fuel any exercise I was going to be doing. Saying that, though, I haven't been to the gym for a week, so that was probably a bit of a fail. But generally, I'll know that that's going to fuel my workout when I do them. So
yeah, why would you give it up? Even if you are in a calorie deficit, you can still go out for food. You can still get takeaway. You know, it's just working it in. And
life's too short not to have pizza.
Yeah, absolutely. It just makes sense. So, final question for you. What's your favourite lift and why?
I think I've probably got two. We've already talked about the shoulder press, so we won't dwell on that. My other favourite is an RDL. I don't know why. I like an RDL.
Yeah.
I feel like it does work, and I think it works everything better for me than a deadlift, even though I like a deadlift as well. But an RDL, yeah, that's mine.
You know what? I think I'm the same. I think I've been thinking about it a lot over the past couple of months, and I love an RDL. I don't know what it is. I'm not a squat girl because like mechanics, my ankles are terribly inflexible. You know, you see me using the wedges. I've got better shoes for it, and I'm not a quad dominant. I can't get into a deep squat. I'm better now. But it's not my peak move. But an RDL, I love them.
Yeah, it hurts in a good way. And you can feel that stretch and you can feel what it's working. more than any other lift, I think. You know, apart from upper body, because you can tell what you're doing there. But on a lower body, you know, I never really, maybe I'm doing the wrong, but I'm so quad dominant that if I'm doing a hip thrust, I feel it in my quads. You know, but an RDL, you know, that's hamstrings all the way. And I like that. I like being able to focus on what I'm working on.
Yeah, super easy to overload. Plus needs a massive amount of core strength to control that, stop that back from bending as the bar goes down the legs. All of that, I can just feel my core tensing as the bar goes down. Incredible.
I was thought you were going to say, I can feel my core tensing just thinking about it.
They're not actually on my program today. I've got them on day 3. But thank you very much.
That's all right. Very much. It's always nice to have a chat, isn't it?
No, we could go on for days, just like with Mo. We did go on for days during our shoot. That's why Sarah got such great pictures, because we're just giggling and laughing the whole time.
No, but that's good, because I think Mo said when she saw your picture, she said she loved the fact that you were smiling in all of them. But we were just having a good time and having a chat, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? You know, that's getting you over as being the lovely, friendly, welcoming person that you are. So
I love it. Incredible. Thank you so much.
No worries at all.
Thank you for everyone for listening, especially everybody on the podcast, baby. You're on a podcast.
I know, I feel like a celebrity.
You are a celebrity. Especially within the lifting gang.
Oh my gosh, no pressure, no pressure.
Amazing. Right, we'll leave it there. Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Have
Sarah.
a lovely day.
And you.
Bye.
Bye.